Slurpty diddly do, Modgies. Round 2 of recording this video because I completely messed up the audio in the first one. But nevertheless, we continue to endure. So yes, shout out to Rob Barrel, who asked a wonderful question recently on YouTube. And he's a wonderful patron supporter, and I thank you personally, Rob. And he asked, what's the ratio between how loud your sub should be and how loud your drum track is, because he finds he's not being able to get the sub to be heard clearly enough because his drums are too loud. So yes, there's a few answers to this question. It's a bit nuanced, but I've tried to make a little demo here to explain the topic as best as I can. Hopefully some of you other guys will benefit from it as well. And so it's actually, for me, quite simple in terms of getting the volume levels of the sub and the drums in the right area, because they're both, to me, the most powerful part of the track and the low end. It's drum and bass, those are the two main things that make up the whole mixdown. So it's really almost like getting the highest and loudest sound quality from each one that you can. It's not really, there's sometimes where I might say that I want my drums like a little bit lower by comparison, but on a whole, it's kind of like getting the loudest, clean sound signal from both and then mixing them well together. That's really the key. So when it comes to drums, it's really the kick that's the important part, because that's taking up the most headroom, because it's got all the low end in, so it's the kick that you're going to be concerned with. And obviously if you drive it up too high in volume, at some point it will start to fall apart and lose its shape, and obviously we don't want that. So we just drive the kick up in volume to the point, where it's, like as loud as it can go, but still clean sounding, not being distorted yet. And then that's basically where I set, how the drum track is going to be, Like I said, you could turn the drums down a little bit, but I tend to leave them pretty much as high as they'll go, like in that regard, And the sort of, the cleanliness and powerful aspect of the kick that's not been disrupted is sort of the bar for how loud they're going to be, All by ear, remember. Into the clipper and by ear, right? And then the sub. So I've got a wonderful respace here, but it's got a sub in it already, because I'll often make my basses with the sub in already if I can. And we just look at the sub on span here. And the default settings on span, I always advocate to use this analyzer because it's the great way that we can all be on the same page. But either way, it's free to download. And between -30 and -36, there's this lovely channel. And you'll find if you put a lot of professional tracks in, the sub will tend to be around that sort of area. So aim anywhere in that channel. If it goes slightly above, that's cool. As long as it still sounds fine and doesn't sound distorted, you're good to go. So mine's really nicely in that range and it sounds great. And at that point, I know that my sub is in the right volume area, and I've done the best I can with my drums on pushing them as much as they'll go. So now I've got the two important sounds, the drums and the bass, to be both like powerful and loud, and that's the whole goal, so we've got that. And then it comes to mixing them in together, mixing them well together. You don't have to sacrifice one to gain more of the other necessarily. You just have to sidechain them really, really well, And obviously choosing the right elements, choosing the right sounds, they'll naturally blend together. Like this one already sounded really nice without any sidechaining. Like it already kind of works, because I've chosen great samples. And a wonderful bass design from yours sincerely, Artifact, on his recent Vital preset pack, Vital Origins, The Sea of Darkness. What a wonderful preset that is. Anyway, all I've done for the sidechaining is my lovely new favourite way with the multipass, and it's just to duck the low end of the Reese where the sub is and where the sub and kick conflict is, from around 300 Hertz or so, just sidechaining everything from 0 up to 300. Yeah, so set the sidechain from the kick up here, and then down here in the external as well. And then the peak mode is on, the release, making sure I've got enough space for the kick to do its thing. So about 123 on this one. And then the attack's at 0, again remember ratio 2/1, which is like kind of where it's sort of classic settings. And then you can just gauge how much compression you want via your threshold. You can see the readout up here of how much it's doing. Yeah, I liked it around -9 or so. Yeah, so that's really cleared out loads of space, and you can hear the kick like cutting through in the low end again already. And that's all I've really had to do for this one, and it sort of works pretty well already. Already sounding nice in the mix, you know. And what have we got? Three samples and a preset, you know, and it sounds fat, in my opinion. All right, so I hope that helped you out a bit, and yeah, just go for like the highest sound quality from each, from the sub and the drums. You know, push them both as much as they'll go, and then focus on your sidechain and get that perfect, you know. And yeah, if it's not working well for you, it could also be that the samples are not that great. So try swapping them around, and you'll get there eventually. But hopefully that helped you out. Hopefully someone else learned something a bit from that as well. Quite a little simple basic sidechaining video today again. But anyway, much love my G's. Have a great rest of your day, and a Merry Christmas. Peace out. Ciao, ciao.